What's up, y'all? Happy Black History Month. Happy Black American History Month. We back, y'all. It's been a year since we did the 28 days of Black American History Month. I'm really excited about this year's Black History Month. I didn't check in yesterday because I wasn't sure. What's up, y'all? I see y'all in the room. What's going on? Talk to me. Talk to me. We here. I'm doing, or rather, I'm thinking I'm gonna like chill a little bit this year for, hey Malcolm, Black History Month, and just sort of enjoy it, actually celebrate it. I'm still gonna post stuff. I'm still gonna like, go in and you know, do my little videos and stuff like that here and there. And shout out to everybody who sent who responded to the little like questionnaire or whatever that I sent out pre-Black History Month. What's going on? Nothing much. Out here at the park, just chilling, getting some sun, enjoying the day, talking about this Black History Month stuff, preparing, and just about to get my whole life. Hey Greg, love what you do. I appreciate it. I love what you do. I gotta get this book is what I gotta get. Y'all, shout out to Malcolm Bryce on Instagram, y'all. Check him out. He just did a book about fatherhood, single fatherhood. What's up, Jamal? What's going on? My people is here. What's up, y'all? I'm feeling the love today. I was just telling everybody, Jamal, okay, well, I'm waving at you. It's clearly not working for me because I'm like pressing the damn thing. Was just telling everybody that this year, you know, last year I did the 28 days of Black American History Month. I'm still gonna do stuff this year. I'll probably do more shorts than anything because like I was putting in like time and like a lot of serious effort, which that's not to say that I'm not gonna do that this year, but I need the time. I just need my time. And I want to do something else. I want to do more. Like every time I do it, I want to build it bigger. I want to do something better. I want to be more of a production. But I'm still going to do like shorts and things like that this year, and just, you know, spreading awareness, celebrating, giving information, and just yeah, just being more active and celebrating the holiday. It's important for me. Jamal, you talk about it all the time, just the importance of us as Black Americans, you know, taking ownership of our holidays and our things just in general, and appreciating them, and really understanding that, you know, as an ethnicity, as a people, like, you know, we're so used to having our things commodified by other people. Everybody that's not us takes advantage of our things and profits off of our things. And I had a cousin today call me, and we were talking or whatever. She was telling me about how she was over this store that I shop at that's not Black owned. She's talking about how they were like churning out Black History Month shit and just sort of commodifying it and just really like taking advantage. And, you know, I think for us as Black Americans, we're so used to our things just being taken away from us and capitalized off of, and we don't necessarily, we're used to it to the point that it's just so second nature, and it's just, we're used to it. We don't think about it. And I think with Black History Month, and I think with Juneteenth, which I'm so happy that more people are celebrating Juneteenth, and so happy that, hold on y'all, let me put this in the situation. Yeah, look, I cannot do two things at once. I'm gonna try to pin this. I saw this on a, there we go. What's up, Deshaun? Happy Black American History Month, boo. Yeah, so yeah, we're so used to our things being taken from us and just everything being commodified. And, you know, I feel like months like these, you know, I talked about it a little bit last year about how I kind of in the past, like it's been an ongoing thing, within the past decade that I sort of repurposed a lot of the holidays that most folks celebrate. Like, I don't celebrate Christmas, I don't celebrate Thanksgiving, but what I've done is, celebrate things that actually have meaning and purpose for me. So like coming out day, celebrate my coming out day. I repurposed the 4th of July for myself. So I have the 4th of July as my coming out day. I get fireworks every year. I celebrate Black American History Month. Really putting the energy that I put into those holidays into our holidays. Juneteenth, I go all out. You know what I mean? So like I still get to participate and have my holidays and have those things because I do find value in those things. And even, and it's not a judgment of those holidays. It's not a judgment of Christmas. It's not a judge. I mean, I definitely judge Thanksgiving for obvious reasons. But like, I also was thinking to myself, well, what, because I used to be the Christmas person. What about, me really not necessarily giving into all the reasons why I don't celebrate it, but like actually taking, because Black folks will, celebrate things and not celebrate things. So like we'll just use it as an excuse to get together and love up on each other. And I'm so for that. Exactly, Jamal, right? So I was thinking about maybe, giving into Christmas. Like this past Halloween felt like Halloween for me for the first time in a really long time. So, there's, space for all of that. But at the same time, our stuff, Juneteenth, Black American History Month, I'm super for. Child, I definitely knew I needed to get on today after last night. I ain't gonna get into it, but I saw some things online that were very concerning, which people get real crazy whenever Black History Month and Juneteenth and all of our shit actually comes or whatever. What's up, Jarrell? People get crazy and start saying and doing weird shit and it just. Yesterday, the stuff that I saw was super concerning, but I thought it was definitely a moment for, awareness, and even more so, just to double down on the idea of us actually fully taking pride in ourselves, fully taking pride in our culture, fully honoring our ancestors. Because for me, that's what this month really is about. Us, celebrating our ancestors, us. Celebrating our history, celebrating all of our contributions. Last year I did the 28 Days of Black American History Month, and I'm somewhat doing a 28 Days of Black American History Month shorts this year because, like I said, I need that time. I was putting in serious work last year for those videos, but doing that research and really fully understanding the scope of who we are in the world, I think that's super important for us as Black Americans, because I think we're so used to being, our worldview is super small because we're Americans, and because for all intents and purposes we've been boxed into America. We haven't had the opportunity to leave or the resources to leave, to have an expanded worldview. So it's like we don't understand our place in the world, and I think it's super important for us to use, Black History Month is 365 days out of the year, of course, but like I think months like these even adding even more emphasis on it, especially for the kids, but especially for all of us, for all of us, because it's adults who don't know this information, right? So I'm like, doing those videos last year really had me thinking, and I'm like, damn, like we really make this shit especially when you even get into like the patents, and I talked about it a lot last year, because a lot of the shit that I was discussing, I had no idea that we created. But even still, like doing research in the past few days, like I'm still stumbling across shit, and it's just like it's endless. Like everyday appliances, everyday things that we use that we don't even think about that we need, that we wouldn't be able to function without. The majority of the things that I found were created by Black Americans. And I think if we had this information, it would be super impactful for us just as a people, as a community, thinking about the kids and just thinking about what that would do to their self-esteem, and especially in a world where we're constantly bombarded with nonsense and people down talking us and shit talking us and not feeding into us or filling us up with anything. Propaganda, mostly propaganda, is what we get filled up with, right? So like imagine the kids knowing that, your ancestors created the stoplight, your ancestors created the washing machine, your ancestors created the phones that we're on, and your ancestors created like every fucking thing. Everything, the filaments within light bulbs. People still don't even know that, and that's like common you know, for a lot of people to know, I guess, these days, but a lot of people don't. But even still, you know, I think understanding who we are in a broader sense is super important. And like I said, also, you know, honoring our ancestors. I know for some people that sounds like hokey and like magic and the devil. You know how niggas do. The devil, okay? No, absolutely not. If you believe in ghosts, you should be able to believe in your ancestors and actually honoring them. And there's tons of ways that you can go about it. Even if it's as simple as lighting a candle or, you know, just talking to them. They appreciate it. But even still, just recognizing them, you know, recognizing what they've contributed, with recognizing who they were, who we are, and ultimately how we all sort of, as a people, everything that we do, I know what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to articulate it. It affects the next person, for all intents and purposes, for lack of better words. It matters, and continuing to pass this information down and understand these things. It's important. It's just super important. And again, especially for the kids, because I mean, they're the ones who carry the information, right? They're the ones who are gonna continue to pass this stuff on, not magic. Magic, child. You know how niggas be. You know when they start talking about the devil and all that shit. They ain't trying to have no parts. But yeah, we have to honor ancestors. We have to honor where we've been, where we've come from, and where we want to go. And actually having like community. You know what I mean? I think that's another huge part about it. Like, yeah, we have community. Yeah, you know, we know what community looks like in the Black American community. We know how I've had people within the past year. I've done panels and like I've had conversations with non-Black Americans who genuinely think, and non-Black American folks that live in America, who, and abroad, who think that we don't have community and our culture is like not connected, which is weird because it is, and especially being from North Carolina and living on the West Coast, living in California, like it's not strange, like it's something that you know, but it's interesting to see how it's done in other parts of the country. Even whenever I would go up to the Northeast back when I lived on the East Coast, it was interesting to see how they live, but there was that common denominator, there was that common connection. Ultimately, it being the South, because that's where all of our ancestors come from. But like, you know, it's important for us, even still, where there is disconnect, for us to be able to connect and come together as community, as an ethnicity, because it matters. It definitely matters, especially being that we don't have the privilege of being able to just uproot ourselves from America and go abroad. We don't have the resources. We don't have the opportunity a lot of the time to be able to do those things. So I think it's important for us to be able to come together and be able to fight for ourselves, be able to celebrate ourselves, because I mean, of course, we don't always have to be fighting. I know that's what we're known for. We're definitely the face of Black liberation at this point, which I mean, I don't think anybody would argue with that. But at the same time, I think, you know, especially during times like these where the intention is to celebrate, we shouldn't always have to fight. You know what I mean? We should be able to love each other. We should be able to celebrate. We should be able to, you know, honor ourselves, honor our ancestors, and just really like take a step back and be able to just to reflect on all that we've accomplished, how far we've come, and where we want to go. I love the idea of Black Future Month, which is another spin on Black American History Month that people kind of go with. Just speaking to the, you know what I'm saying, Malcolm? Just speaking to the future, what we want, where we want to go, and really envisioning these things and really coming together and speaking that stuff into life. I want that for us. I think we deserve that. I think so much of the time, we're impacted by all of this shit times 10 that's happening in the world. And I think that, we owe ourselves to love ourselves. You know what I mean? I think we owe ourselves to be able to love up on each other for real, to be able to celebrate each other, to really understand who we are. Because I don't think, it kills me. I go hard for this shit. I go hard for us. I go hard for Black History Month. I go hard for Juneteenth. I go hard for all of these things. It hurts when people don't take it seriously. You know what I mean? It hurts when people it really hurts when people say things like, oh, we don't have culture. Oh, we don't have, we lost everything. It's like doom and gloom. We lost everything during slavery. They took everything away from us, which they did. They definitely did. But what we did after in creating the culture, that we literally created this culture. You know what I mean? We literally created this culture. We literally created the legacy that we have in America in terms of all of the accomplishments, all of the things, the history that we've made. You know what I mean? We did all of this stuff coming from where we came from. So, coming from the circumstances that we came from. So, I think there should be pride in that, but I think people are sold on this idea of like doom and gloom, and that, oh, we're lost. I hate when people say shit like that. Oh, we're lost, and, we don't know who we are. And it's just like, you don't know who you are. And I think it's time that people really, and I don't try to preach. I'm definitely on the soapbox right now, but I'm definitely not trying to preach at anybody. So, anybody's taking it that way, I'm just passionate. But I want that for us, because, like, I know how great we are. I don't think everybody does. And that's the whole purpose of me doing these videos, right? Just to spread awareness, and in hopes of us coming together. Because also, we're in a time period, with COVID and with everything that's happening in politics and everything that's just happening all over the world. Like, we need to come together. We have to come together. For one, all we have is us. We can talk about Africa. We can talk about all of these like ideas about what we want to do in terms of diaspora and all of that. But all of that has yet to be seen. And that's no shade to anybody, but all of that has yet to be seen. At the end of the day, we don't have connections really to anybody outside of this country. We're kind of boxed and caged into this country high key. And we don't have anywhere to go. We have to fight for ourselves. We have to come together at some point and say, yo, what's up, Tasha? What's going on? Happy Black American History Month, fool. What's up, Tommy? Yeah, we're kind of boxed in this motherfucker. So we gotta, we gotta make it do what it do. We gotta get it together, and we gotta really fight for these policies. We gotta fight. We gotta hold these politicians accountable whenever it comes to our community. Because, like I said, we're disproportionately affected by COVID. We're disproportionately affected by all the things that's happening right now in the world times 10. And I want us to understand that, and I want us to really, get out of this sort of romanticized idea of everything. Like, and not to shit on us or anything like that, because I truly believe we're great people. I truly believe, we're strong people, I truly believe that we're super smart. And I don't mean that in an academic way. Of course in an academic way, but I mean that in just, we make this shit pop. You know what I mean? We just be knowing. We be knowing. And we be getting shit done. And we be doing. So, but I do think that we definitely need to educate ourselves about who we are. And what we need as a community, and like I said, hold these people who are in positions of power that are making our situations hard when they don't have to be, hold them accountable and get out of this idea of romanticizing these people, these characters, these politicians, these faces, who are supposed to be doing for us, who are, you know what I mean, like, and really, like, getting real about strategy, getting real about what we need and what our kids need, because ultimately we trying to create a world for them, right? So it's like, thank you, Tasha. Happy Black American History Month. We're doing it for them. We're doing it for them. And I think the older that I get, I recognize, like, yo, like, yeah, you doing it for you, but you doing it for us, and you really doing it for them, because you want to be able to leave behind something. You don't want it to be as hard as it was for you for them. And I don't have kids. I have nieces and nephews, though, that I love. I have god kids, and, you know, I want them to be able to have a life where, you know, it's not as hard, and they're prepared, even if it does get harder, that they're prepared to be able to deal what's to come, because, you know, they always throwing curveballs at us. So it's like, yo, I want them to be able to navigate this, like, for real, and not be blind, going in blind, and having to, like, start from square one, like we did, you know, because, like, even with the stuff that I talk about, I had to go on my own and, like, figure this shit out. I had to, you know, study, you know what I mean? Of course, like, and I'll give credit to Thomasville City Schools to a small degree, and I only think I'll give them credit because we grew up. So a lot of people, even from where I'm from, don't really know that we grew up right outside of Greensboro, North Carolina, which is where the first sit-ins went down. So whenever they were doing counter sit-ins at diners and things like that, the town that's next to ours or whatever was the first. That was the first place where they went down. Of course, North Carolina also had a Black Wall Street in Raleigh, which a lot of people didn't know. But yeah, like, that presence was there. I even remember growing up being in primary school. I was at TPS, and I remember they did, like, all of these, like, displays of that particular place, Waldorf's, the counter sit-ins or whatever. They had, like, the black and white photos, and then they had descriptions and things like that, and stuff for us to, like, interact with in the hallways and stuff, which I thought was dope. And considering that there was, you know, I mean, there was some black staff, it was a community. Yeah, I come from a black community, but, like, it's kind of mixed. But the school system that I grew up in was, like, kind of predominantly black, but also ran by white folks. But at the same time, I feel like somebody was fighting for it, because it was there, right? But I remember interacting with that work, and one of the guys that sat in at the Waldorf, see, I remember being young and, like, looking at him like, oh, he looks a lot like me, like, and even to this day, like, being able to look at those photos and saying, yo, this guy looks like me. The lazy Congressional Black Caucus needs to go. Yes, the hell they do. And I love that people are actually having that conversation now. It took them long enough, because we've been talking about that for a minute. They gotta go, and they need to. I don't know if Sheila Jackson Lee is still in office. Did I read, Jamal, did they say something about her stepping down or something like that? I feel like I recall, like, is she still in office? Is she going to continue to still be in office? That's another thing, y'all. And Jamal actually, so I wanted to tell everyone who contributed, like I said, to the questionnaire, thank you, or whatever. Jamal was one of the ones who actually contributed. It's a shout out to Jamal. I'll show you, later you'll see what I'm going to do with that. But yeah, he was talking about reparations, and, you know, a huge part of what the CBC what we're trying to hold them accountable for is reparations, because reparations are due. They're long overdue, and I love the conversations that we've been having in recent years in regards to it, but they have been dropping the ball, and they're supposed to be representing us. They're busy representing everybody else, but we will get into that conversation when we talk reparations. We will be talking about reparations. Sheila, she gotta go, though. Sheila Jackson Lee is Jamaican American, a woman who, I don't know how it happened, but she is the head of the reparations conversation in the Congressional Black Caucus, which I'll get into it, because, child, I gotta watch myself, because I'll be going in, and I ain't trying to do all of that right now. Jamal, you be having me on. We need more black leaders to serve our people. Malcolm, yes, we do. But you know what? We also have us. You know, I think what you're doing is great. I love that you wrote that book. Because we need to have that conversation, and I think that's leadership. You know, I think this is leadership, spreading awareness, you know, and I mean, I'm somebody. I'm definitely somebody, in my eyes, but you know what I mean? Everybody's somebody, but, you know, I think, you know, everybody plays a part, and I think all of us playing, and that's just more so to my point. That's even why I'm doing this. I want more people to be active, because I feel like we get so busy just surviving, man. We get so busy just surviving and just in the routine of like just the day to day. And I get it, because like the shit's hard. Living in America is not easy, and I think for people who come here and don't necessarily understand our history and don't necessarily understand who we are, where we come from, and how that affects the present, and what our current circumstances are in terms of just how there's constant opposition, and how our government does not serve us, and they don't do anything for us, and they actually position us to be a permanent underclass. They do everything in their power to keep us in the space that we're in, and that we've consistently been in since we got here. You know what I mean? And I think, again, I think even in us just understanding that timeline of things, I think that would set us on a road to liberation unlike anything that we've ever really seen. Of course, we've definitely had figures and people who have done the work and who've talked about these things, and you know, there are people who know these things, but I think there's so much propaganda, and so many people taking our attention off of where it needs to be, and spinning narratives, and just weird narratives, and confusing the people. And I just think it's a time for truth. I think it's a time for us to be honest with ourselves about everything, about how we just really understanding how we exist in the world, and who we are as a people in the world, and understanding that, you know, as much shit talk that's spoken on to us, we're some of the dopest fucking people on the fucking planet. Not just because we survived all the shit that we've been through, but our contributions to the world. People owe us their lives. Period. And I'm not singling anybody out. A lot of people owe us their fucking lives. Like, we make a way for a lot of fucking people. And, you know, that respect's rarely given, but, you know, I don't think that's why we did it either. You know what I mean? But I think that should be understood from everybody. I think folks, again, what I was saying in the beginning, you know, everything that we do, everything we contribute, everything that we create for ourselves is a lot of the time commodified and taken advantage of and used and abused, and, you know, we don't get credit for anything. But I think and people take and use our shit for their benefit, you know, for their come up. But I think at the same time, you know, we need to take ownership of our shit. We definitely need to do that. But at the same time, I think the respect, which, you know, expectations set up for failure. But at the same time, I think that it's owed to us. It definitely is owed. Nobody's asking for it. But at the same time, it's definitely owed. And at the very least, people need to understand where their help came from. I'm gonna get off my soapbox. But yeah, is there anything else that I wanted to talk about? Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to talk about that, and in hopes of, I don't know, sparking something, because I mean, it's the second day of Black American History Month. I hope that you guys, you know, take it seriously and like really embrace the month. For all the reasons that I mentioned before, you know what I mean? It definitely is a time of celebration. It's not, you know, I think a lot of people, it's interesting whenever you talk to people, and I'm actually glad, something that I thought about whenever people were like responding to the, I guess, questionnaire or whatever that I put out. a lot of the time I'm so used to people like looking at our culture and looking at us as like doom and gloom and like, you know, of course we're descendants of American chattel slavery. I take pride in who we are. I take pride in that part of our history, even though it's super tragic, even though it's super evil and super just corrupt and inhumane and all of the above. I take pride in us and our ancestors who went through that and where we came from, you know what I mean, and what we did after, you know what I mean, and during. We were doing shit for the world during slavery. I know last year I talked a lot about the inventions that we created during slavery that a lot of the time, if we didn't, you know, get the credit for, slave masters would take the credit for and you know, capitalize off of it or whatever. But like, we're magnificent people. And you know, my hope is that with these videos and with these conversations and, you know, the other stuff that other people are doing, because it's not just me, I hope that it's contributing to a future where that pride and that knowledge of who we are and the celebration of who we are and the love for who we are as an ethnicity, as Black Americans, is respected and is cherished and is honored. Because, you know, speaking to the doom and gloom, if you understand the doom and gloom, you should be able to understand the magnificence of us being here today. You know, the beauty of understanding that we are the hope and dream of the slave, you know, the enslaved. You know, our ancestors went through all of what they went through for us to be able to be here and do the things that we've done and contribute to the world in the way that we have and thrived in the way that we have, because we do thrive. It's not all doom and gloom, you know what I mean? The world and the media and all of these spaces, they'll try and pump that into you, but you know, you have nothing to be ashamed of. And I think that all of that propaganda definitely tries to contribute to tries to perpetuate rather shame, and we have nothing to be ashamed of. And I hope y'all know that, and I hope y'all know that, because yeah, you could say that, you know, and whatever, but like, I hope you feel it on the inside. You feel what I mean? Like, I hope it's internalized. I hope that like that pride pours through your pores and you actually cherish your culture, because you do have culture. And it's the month, I mean, granted, all year long is a time of celebration for that, but we have a month. It's the shortest month of the year. But we got it, and I think we should celebrate it just like we celebrate Christmas. Support your Black businesses, do all of that, and get your life, and do something for the kids. If you got nieces and nephews, if you ain't got kids, do something for them. You know what I mean? Story time, or I don't know, watch a Black History Month movie. Brother Future is always on the table. Oh no, not Brother Future. I'm thinking of Brother Future's a different one. My friend Malcolm. No, my friend Martin. That's the one, right? Whoever's in the room, y'all know. The one they used to show in like school and shit. I watched it for MLK Day. Cause I was on like a whole nostalgia trip. I ran across it. My friend had mentioned it, and I ran across it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm watching it, and I did, and it gave me my whole life. That cast was insane. Like, they got everybody in that movie. Angela Bassett, Susan Sarandon, freaking like everybody was in that movie. Doing voiceover. What's the old dude? Arnez from 101. He was in that. Arnez grew up. Let me stop. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoy this month, and I hope all of my intentions came through in this live. I also wanted to mention that so like last year I read a book for Black American History Month. I'm gonna do that again this year. I'll probably announce it tonight, because because I think I'm gonna hop back on tonight. I might hop back on tonight, or I might just post something about it. I don't know. I'm deciding whether or not I want to do like fiction or if I want to do like another biography. But I'm definitely going to read this month. And I want you guys to join me in reading. Last year, people joined in reading. Some people didn't finish. And then the person that was actually going to get on a live with me couldn't get on the live or whatever. So I just did a review. But it actually turned out really dope. It was fun. People responded to it very well. I was really happy about that. I read last year Cicely Tyson's memoir, which, if you know, she passed away last year around this time, just before Black History Month, actually. And I was super adamant about reading the book, and I did. And yeah, I got my whole life. But this year, I think, like I said, I was in a cross between like fiction or like a biography, but I don't know. Let me know what y'all think, if y'all are down, or if you have like a preference or any recommendations. Even I'm in a cross between two books. One of them is a saga, and another is a fiction book that I am going to decide on. I don't know. I'll probably end up I also don't want to read another biography. Like, I like variety, so I don't know. I'll probably read Asada though, because like I should have been read Asada. Asada Shakur's memoir, for those of you who don't know, which I recommend even though I haven't read it. I love her, so it's way past time that I read her biography. But y'all, I'm gonna get off of here because I actually came to the park to enjoy the nature, and to also get some work done. So I'm gonna get back at that. But I'm glad y'all tuned in. I'm glad y'all show love. Definitely keep feeding into these videos, y'all, because it's not just for me, it's for us. And I love when y'all participate, and I love I love the interaction. And yeah, I will talk to y'all soon. Peace, y'all.